Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to Willow Creek Homestead. My name is Kenzie if you are new around here. And in today's video, we have a lot of stuff planned to go over. We have a seed haul, we have gardening stuff, we have seeds to start. But first things first, we need to go take care of the little feathered velociraptors and let them outside. I actually just got done having the flu for 2 days, so my husband has been taking care of them. I have not been out to see them. So we're gonna go out and do that together. And then I also wanted to show you guys something really quickly. My husband has been working on this box for me to put all of the babies in to be in the garage. Now, the only thing is we need to bring the sides of this up so that the bedding doesn't come out. But look at this. While I was sick, he built this for me, which is so incredibly nice. So in the next couple of weeks, all of the babies will be able to be out here, and we have a mini split coming that's gonna be right over there. We're gonna get the garage all insulated, so it'll be nice and warm out here for the babies. Those pop-ups come in handy, but with the amount of chicks that I have, it's just like not enough space. If you're new around here, we hatched out, I think 18 babies, and then I ended up getting a couple more additionally from the breeder that I got the eggs from. So we have quite a few babies down there in that pop-up. They definitely needed some more space. We will not be keeping all of the boys, but for the time being, they will be staying with us. So we gotta like come up with a way to house all of them. So super, super appreciative that my husband took time out of his day to make that for me. And I can't wait to get all of the babies out there. But in the meantime, let's go see what the feathered yard puppies are up to. I can hear them yelling at me. It's right around like 7:45-ish. Usually I'm out here by 7 o'clock to let them out. So they are not very happy with me at all. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I know. I could hear you yelling. Hi, Hanky. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. And my husband got all of their water filled up for them yesterday night, so that is all good to go. Hi, babies. Good morning. Hi. Frank. You will feel like a late employee every single morning if you have chickens. I swear, if you are like even 5 minutes late, they will not let you live it down. And this little white silky rooster here is Frank. He is our newest rooster, and he has been not being very nice. Here lately, I have a video coming out on one of my shorts, and you guys will see. Here lately, he has been attacking me. I don't know why. I don't know what his problem is. We were getting along really good, and now he has been a very, very, very bad boy. Haven't you, Mr. Frankie? At least he's incredibly small, so like whenever he does attack me, it's not like a major problem. But you have been a bad boy lately. And him and Hank like don't fight at all, and here recently they've been kind of getting into squabbles, so hopefully it's short-lived and hopefully Frank gets out of his whatever you want to call this. You're very sad. Oh my goodness, you're so loud. See, it's hard. It's a rough life being a white silky out here in all the freaking dirt. Look at him. So now I'm gonna go make sure that they have food. I think that it should be fine. My husband fed them last night, so the feeder should be totally full. But I can't wait to bring the newest babies out here, you guys. Out of all of those babies that we had, I think we ended up with, I wanna say like 6 or 7 girls. The silkies, I don't know yet, so those could be girls as well. But we have a lot of freaking boys this year. Like I have never had such odds in my life. But I want to say like 16 roosters. What is the freaking luck on that, right? Did Daddy fill up your food? Oh yeah, you guys have plenty for the rest of the day. We got some eggs over there that I need to come out and get later. Look at all those. Girls, you have outdone yourself. I have not been getting nearly this many, but I think it's because the weather is actually starting to get a little bit warmer. So they've been laying quite a little bit extra for me, which we appreciate. We did go ahead and get the entire coop and everything insulated as well. So all of this has been insulated, and I added a heated bulb up top. So it's actually been really, really warm for them outside. Our winter has been kind of weird this year. We haven't had like a super cold winter by any means, but on the couple days that it has been really cold, just having the heated light bulb on during the day, and then I shut the door and it stays really, really warm in here for them. So that has been super nice. Okay, and then really quickly, I want to walk over to the garden with you guys. I haven't been over here in a little while, like hardly at all. Since I covered all of the rows, it's just been cold. I haven't come out here. But today it's supposed to be 45 and tomorrow it's supposed to be 56. So I was like, get your butt over here and look at your garden. Don't judge me because there's still weeds and stuff that needed to come out of here from last year. But I wanted to get a count. So I was having a little bit of difficulty remembering where my rows started, like on the side, so that we could draw it up together later. So it's 6, 6, and 6, so that's good. For some reason, I was thinking I had 4 rows of 6. I don't have 4 rows of 6. I have 3 rows of 6. And then you guys want to see something else that the deer did this year? So over there, we like cemented all of these posts in the ground for my garden fence, right? Over there, however, I left a stake in the ground like this so that we could take the fencing out to get a tractor through there for manure or whatever. Well, my husband did that, forgot to close it off for like 2 weeks, and then a deer got in here and jumped over the fence trying to get it out, and look what it did. I've never had deer get in here. Like this whole first year, we never had deer in here. We had rabbits, but never deer. But they got in here because the fence was open and busted one of my fences completely off. So we got to get this taken care of as well. But all of this stuff is covered and it kind of looks like a jungly mess. I got to come out here and pull weeds and get some landscape fabric down and everything. But sometimes it's just nice to come out here and like look and reevaluate because I haven't been out here in a while. And like I said, we're going to draw up some stuff together for Garden 2026 today. So I just wanted to kind of get an overview. And like I said, there's stuff all over the place. We have a massive garden like renovation day coming up together whenever it gets warm again. But that's for another time. That's for future me's problem. And I'm not going to stress out about it right now. But let's go in and go over all of the garden stuff and my seed haul. I almost forgot my plant chores. My brain is just confuzzled from being sick. So I got to go around and flip on all of my lights and so on and so forth with all of like my grow lights and stuff. We have several house plants here and super proud of myself. I have not killed any yet. So let's do that really quickly. And my house is just crazy from being sick and whatever. So if you see clutter and stuff, just pretend like it doesn't exist. But look at this cutie pie. Say hi, Paulo. Are you snoozing? I hope in my next life, if I get reincarnated, it's into a house cat because you have the best life in the world. Yes, you do. Okay, so like over here, for instance, I have my croton and my rubber tree, and I just need to open the blind and get them some light. And then I just plug them in and flip that on. Ta-da! And then same thing over here. This is actually a new plant, you guys. This is my newest Aglaonema. Look at how stunning. So beautiful. But I have all of these plants right here by this window. And then this window over here gets some light, but as you can see, we have an overhang that is like right here on the porch and up above here. So it doesn't get a ton of sunlight. So I do have this other little variegated rubber tree over here with its own grow light and some aloe. And then I also have this red philodendron. Don't mind these, I'm sorry. These go out to the chickens later. This is some spaghetti squash that was starting to go bad, so I just have it up here. But this one is also on its own light. Look at how beautiful, and she just put on a new leaf. And then I have a trio star over here. And then here is a white wizard philodendron. It also has its own light. I have quite the collection of philodendrons going right now. And then here is my plant stand, and all of these have their own lights as well. So this one we just flip on and it kicks that whole side on for these ones. And then again, same thing on this side. And then I have a beautiful poinsettia up there. It was on my dining room table, but we are going to chit chat at the table, so I moved it, but look at those colors. Stunning. Apparently you can overwinter these. I'm not sure if I'm going to try it with this one, but we might do that together and see if we can get it to come back next year. And then here are a whole bunch of plants that are at this window. This window gets the most light, so anything that needs like a ton of light, I just leave right here. These two right here are new. These are some type of nerve plant, and then these are like a polka dotted something or other. I can't remember, but I want to get a square planter eventually and put all 3 of these in it. And then over here in this big pot is my pothos, and this thing is massive, absolutely freaking massive. Whenever I started it, it was probably the size of like this one right here, and in just a couple months, it has put on so much freaking new growth, you guys. And then lastly, I just have these 3 up here, but they get light from the window. I lied, you guys. I picked up a new one the other day. This is called a Manjula pothos. I've never heard of it, but look at how absolutely beautiful. This is just in my kitchen window with a little glass chicken that my mom got me for Christmas. Don't mind the window. I still have to paint this, but look at how cute. Okay, feels super good to get the rest of the stuff taken care of. And now we can move on to our seed haul. Now, I have a couple different things that I want to go over with you guys, like I said. So grab a snack, grab a drink, grab whatever, because we're just going to sit here and chit chat, go over some garden stuff. I also need your guys' input on some of this. I just want to know how you guys would do it, because this is going to be my second year in-ground gardening, and I'm kind of struggling with the layout a little bit. I went from container gardening to in-ground gardening, and it doesn't seem like it would be that big of a switch, but it kind of is. So I have an entire layout right here that I want to get your guys' input on. But first things first, let's go over the seeds that I bought for Garden 2026. Now, I did a couple weeks ago go ahead and pick up another seed organizer. So now I have two, and basically all these are is just photo organizers. The top lifts up and there's just tons of different little compartments in here that you would typically use to organize your photos with. But I had seen so many people using these to organize their seeds with, and I was like, I want to give that a try. And what I love about it is they have handles and they completely snap. Like the top itself completely snaps, so all your seeds are completely safe from the elements or, you know, whatever. I can't tell you how many times I've been out gardening and watering stuff, and then the water gets on my seed packet and then the seed packet is ruined. So I really, really like that it keeps everything just safe from environmental factors. And then the components themselves have little notches right here, and then they open. So all of your seeds are completely safe, and you can carry the entire thing outside with you. Another thing is, like, whenever I go outside, I'll be like, oh, I want to plant this. And then I realize that I had space to plant 20 other things while I was outside. So instead of having to come in and grab those things again, it's just really nice to be able to organize it like in these. So I will leave them down below for you. I did go ahead and pick up another one. But as you can see, I have two of them basically all the way full. So my seed order for this year was not a ton, but I did go ahead and pick up some things. And you guys are always asking, where do you get your seeds from? It varies every year depending on what I need. I did not order anything from True Leaf Market this year, but that is another company that I really, really like. The first company that I went ahead and ordered some seeds from is Johnny Seeds. And I buy all of my onion seeds here because they have two varieties that I really, really like for long-term storage onions. And that is the Patterson onion, which is just a white long day onion. And then they also, normally it is called Red Wing. Okay, so if you get on Johnny Seeds this year and you are looking for a Red Wing onion, if they are sold out, I looked and looked throughout their website, and the one that is most comparable is called a red carpet onion. So these are also a long day, long storage onion. And if you don't know the difference between like long day, intermediate day, short day, that is just going to be based on your area and the growing season. So here in Iowa, we have really, really, really long hours throughout the day, and certain onion varieties require more sunlight than others to fully form and get really, really big. You don't have to get super, super mathematical or, you know, crazy with it. You just need to know what area you're in and what types of onions that you need to buy in terms of short day, intermediate day, or long day. So if you get on Google, for instance, and you say, I'm in Florida, should I plant short day, long day, or intermediate day? It will give you a map and bring that up, and you just need to order onions based on that. So both of these varieties are long day, and I have grown them both before. Last year I did Walla Walla and Ruby Red from M.I. Gardner, and I love the flavor of Walla Walla, but they're not very long-term storage varieties. Those are going to be more for, you know, like just fresh eating, super quick use. If you want to like cut them up and preserve with them, those are mostly what those are for. So my Red Wing and my Patterson onions, I still have probably half of a milk gallon tote downstairs of each of those that we are still eating on. So super, super long-term storage wise. I believe I harvested all of them late July, early August-ish. So we've had probably 5 months of having fresh onions down in the pantry. So I did go ahead and pick up those again. I plan to devote an entire row to the Patterson and the red carpet onions. I'm not going to do any other varieties because I personally prefer long-term. So we are going to have an abundance of onions, hopefully that will last us even longer than these ones have for next year. And then the next thing that I picked up from Johnny's Seeds are these Nova peppers. If you're new around here, my daughter's name is Novalyn, And anytime that I find something that's like Nova or, you know, like with that word or that name, she really enjoys it. So I found these and I was like, she would probably really like to grow these with me. I think they're an orange pepper. I've never done them before, but I just like the name of them. So we're going to give them a try. And then all of my other seeds this year are coming from MI Gardener. And MI Gardener is my favorite seed company. I have ordered their seeds for the past 4 years. I just love everything that Luke stands for. I think that he is just like a really good hearted, genuine person. There are some seed companies that are just not the best in my opinion, and MI Gardener is just wonderful. Like I said, I just really enjoy everything that Luke stands for, and he's helped me personally on his YouTube channel with my gardening journey. So I love being able to buy their seeds and contribute back to that for all the help that he has given me. And their seeds are incredibly affordable, all heirloom varieties, and you just can't go wrong with $2 seed packets. I mean, they're just wonderful. So if you've never ordered from MI Gardener before, there will be a link down below for you. But the first two things that I picked up are some jade bush beans. Contender bush beans and jade bush beans are my favorite green beans to grow. I just like the taste, and I think that they hold up well in the canning process. So I did go ahead and pick up 2 packages of those. And then I got another packet of tomatillos. I am going to pray to the gardening gods this year, you guys. This year is going to be my year for tomatillos. If you have been watching for any length of time, you know that for the past 2 years now, I have tried to grow tomatillos and I have had no success at it whatsoever. If you did not know, you need 2 tomatillo plants to cross-pollinate, okay, to produce your tomatillos. Well, the first year I didn't know that and I only planted 1. Last year I planted 3 and 2 of my plants got pulled out by rabbits, so I was left with 1 tomatillo plant, and at that point it was too late in the season to restart one or go buy one. So I just gave up on the tomatillos entirely, but this year is gonna be our year for those. I am crossing my fingers for it because I really wanna make homemade salsa verde. And then the next thing that I picked up are just some light kidney bush beans. I've never grown the kidney beans before, but we really like them. I love canning them and adding them to chilies and things like that. So hopefully we can get a good harvest of those. I also picked up some red sales leaf lettuce. I have never tried that before. My family, not so much, but me especially, I love pickled radishes. It is one of my absolute favorite things to pickle. My father-in-law also lives right across the road and he loves radishes as well. I have several packages, but radishes is something that you can just grow like nonstop throughout the growing season and just like succession plant them. So I picked up some early scarlet globe and some French breakfast. I picked up a new melon variety. This is called a Noir des Carmes melon. I've never heard of it, but I tend to really like the orange inside based melons, like kind of like cantaloupe. I just feel like they're really, really sweet and good. So we are gonna give those a try. And then these are just black-seeded Simpson and Tango leaf lettuces. These 2 right here are our favorite varieties. And I love that they're just like cut and come again. You know what I mean? Like I really like these leafy lettuces because you can cut them, harvest them, leave them alone, and then you will just keep getting never-ending supplies of lettuce. So these are typically the lettuces that I grow. I don't really grow like the romaines or icebergs just because you cut it and then I don't even know if it comes back. Actually, I think the romaine does, but I think it takes longer. With those, it's not very long at all. So I do tend to stick to like the leafier green lettuces. And then I also went ahead and got some blue curled Scotch kale. We love kale. I love freezing it, adding it to recipes, but my chickens and my rabbits also really, really love it. So I grow extra for them every single year. And then I went ahead and picked up some more zinnias. Last year was my first year growing zinnias out in the garden, and I loved them. Loved them so much. So I picked up some of those. And then my favorite flower of all time is a snapdragon, and they had red ones this year. Last year I bought all white, and then I think the other one was called an apple blossom, and that was like an orange white, but I've never had just a red snapdragon, so I picked that up as well. Last year was the year for cucumbers, and this was a question I got non-stop from you guys across all of my platforms was, what are my favorite cucumbers to grow? What are the kinds of pickling cucumbers I use? And both of the cucumber varieties that you guys saw on my channel last year came from MI Gardener, and I grow the same ones every single year. So for pickling cucumbers, we like the Wisconsin SMR. These ones are just a smaller pickling cucumber, and they're just really dense and hold their crunch really well. Another thing that I really like about these is sometimes with the pickling cucumbers, they grow too fast to where if you want like a whole pickle to pickle in a jar, they just kind of get mushy and don't really like hold their structure very well, in my opinion. These ones start off very, very small on the vine. So if you want to do whole small pickles or like smaller sweet pickles, this is an amazing variety to do that with. And then for fresh eating, we always just do the straight 8 cucumbers. You cannot go wrong with these. I promise. The taste, the flavor, it's just absolutely amazing. So I also go ahead and pick up one of these every single year. I picked up some Utah tall celery. This is my favorite celery variety from MI Gardener. Again, I grew all of that last year. And then I also went ahead and picked up some spinach. Much like the kale, we preserve that nonstop around here. Chard, I just started growing, I think 2 years ago. I had never tried chard before, but last year I planted a ton of it and I froze it, I cut it up, put it into different recipes like you would kale and spinach, and we loved it in like everything. It was also really good in like fresh salad, so I picked up a rainbow variety pack. We had a phenomenal broccoli year last year until the worms got a hold of all my cold weather crops, so I did go ahead and get some row covers like netting and stuff to keep all of those things away, and I'll show you how I set all of that stuff up. But one of the varieties that we grew was the Desico broccoli. And the Desico broccoli, it grows in like shoots. So it comes off in like multiple different places. I just think the Desico broccoli is much more like tender. It's the type of broccoli that you're typically going to get at like a restaurant or like a higher end restaurant. So I picked some of these up, and then I have some Calabrese broccoli seeds already, which are like the big, big heads. But just for fresh eating to go out and pick really, really quickly, these are amazing. I also went ahead and picked up some navy bush beans, and then the last 2 packages are scarlet Nantes carrots. I probably should have grabbed another package of carrots because I go through those so quickly. So hopefully that's enough of them. If it's not, I'll just grab some packages later in the season, because carrots, like the radishes and lettuce and things, you can just plant those throughout the growing season. Okay, so let's go ahead and get some of this stuff put away really quick, and then we'll go over some other things and start some seeds together. This one is color coded. You can get them color coded or clear. I use the color coded one for all of my vegetables just because I think it's easier to like sort them this way. So in the green one, I have all of my lettuces and spinach. So we need to get all of those put away and where they go. Oh, and you're probably like, Kenzie, why do you have a random sweet potato on your table? I am very easily influenced, you guys. So sweet potatoes are weird. If you plant a potato in the ground, you get a potato. If you plant a sweet potato in the ground, you do not get more sweet potatoes. You have to plant the slips that grow out of them. So this is a way to get the slips. I basically just put some toothpicks in here, put the very, very end of it in water. And then as the slips start to form, we can plant them in the garden. But everybody on TikTok is using sweet potatoes as houseplants, and clearly you can tell I kind of have a little bit of a houseplant obsession. So this is me experimenting. I'm gonna grow this as a houseplant and then start another one and use the slips for the garden. But I thought that that would be a really good way to like rotate through that every single year. Like we could keep some sweet potatoes, save them as houseplants, and then have the slips for next year. So if I can pull off a sweet potato houseplant, I will keep you updated. But I just thought it was a really freaking cute idea. And like I said, I'm easily influenced, so why not? One of my freaking nails just fell off. I did not go get these done, by the way. These are just glue-ons. I'm too lazy for that. Way too lazy for that. And if you didn't know, I work in construction, so having like nails on all the time is just, it doesn't work for me at all. But sometimes I do like to do like press-ons or glue-ons, just so I don't look like a total freaking bum all the time. I don't know. I've also reached that point in my life where I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like I don't have anybody to impress, and getting ready and doing my hair and makeup and my nails and stuff is a lot of work. And I think I just want to be a bum. That's really all I want. I just want to have no pressure to dress up or do anything anymore. None of it. To my girlies that get ready every single day, you are rock stars, because I just don't have it in me. I really don't. I wake up looking like Adam Sandler, and my husband can either deal with it or don't, but I'm not probably going to change it. I will say I have like tried to get ready a little bit more whenever I do videos with you guys, because usually you guys just see me in my work clothes, but I didn't want to. But I am proud of myself for doing it. It does make me feel better though. I don't know, guys. Maybe I'm turning into the Grinch. I don't know. I almost went to put my onion seeds away, and then I remembered we need those. We are going to be starting onions, thyme, and rosemary today. And if anybody has any good tips on rosemary, let your girl know, because I have done rosemary the past 3 years and have had like one germinate and do something. Otherwise, I don't have very good success with them at all. So if you have any tips, I am all ears. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, last year I was not good about saving seeds. Usually that is like something I really try to buckle down on and do, just because it saves me so much money in the long run. Last year I was not very good about it because of like the house, and it was just an experiment last year for me more than anything. I was just excited to get some stuff planted in the new garden. This year, however, I'm going to go very heavy with the seed saving. But since I had done that the past 2 years, it's still really nice. Like if you keep up with it every single year, you still don't have to buy that much. Like I have so many seeds right now, and it's really nice, like not having to, you know, buy a ton of those every single year, because that's where a lot of your cost can come from, is from buying the seeds. So if you can make a point to save them every single year, that is always a good thing to do. And then this one I have devoted to flowers. So I'm not very good about organizing things, you guys. Like there are some people that are really good about organizing their seeds in like categories and things. I'm not the best about it. I have warm weather and cold weather in my vegetable thing. And then in here, I just have all of my flowers. So I have like dahlia, daisy, marigolds, nasturtiums, perennial flowers, poppies, petunias, zinnias, and then these are snapdragons. And I just kind of organized them in categories of flowers that I like to plant. So I'm not going to add like a category in here of something that I know I'm not going to plant personally. I have just some varieties that I really enjoy. And then I kind of have like a little thing right here that is just a bunch of randomness that I didn't really have a category for at all. But so far that has worked out really good. Okay, so now I'm gonna flip you around and let's go over the table that I have created for my garden. We'll go over the layout of this, and then let's get some seeds started. Every single year I lay out my garden. Even at the old house, I did this with my grow bags. I just sketch it out and then I kind of jot down where I want things to go. Now, since I experimented last year, I have like a better understanding and idea of how I want to do all of this. So down here is my house, and if I walk out of my house and come this way, these are the first 3 rows, okay? And regardless of how big or small your garden is, I do recommend that you do this because it will help you keep track of things, and each year as you learn where things are and what works and what doesn't, it's just a really good way to like jot everything down, jot your ideas down. If it changes, that's totally fine, but this just gives us like a, you know, little sketch to go off of, okay? So on the outside perimeter, I want to do some like barrels around my garden. Now, there will be more than this, but right now I want to do garlic chives, thyme, and rosemary. And then these trellised rows over here are going to be tomatoes. So instead of doing 8 per trellis, I want to do 7 because I just thought 8 last year was a little bit too much. Personally, you can do 8. It's recommended 2 foot per tomato plant. So technically on a 16-foot trellis, you can do 8, but I'm gonna bump that down to 7. So that will give us 21 big tomato plants. And then I plan to do some companion planting in and amongst all of these. So for the first row, it's gonna be basil and marigolds. Then celery, I did that the year last year. It worked really good for me. Instead of doing a bed over here for my carrots, I plan to do them with the tomatoes over here. And then for this last row of tomatoes, I plan to do dill and some other herbs or flowers. And then this row right here last year was my watermelon row, and I got to get some little things that hold the watermelons from breaking off of the vines. That was one thing that I did not do last year, and moving forward, I do plan to do that. So we're gonna do some Crimson Sweet, Sugar Baby, and Haogan melons. And then right here, as soon as I walk into my garden, I want this to be like my snack row, okay? So this is gonna be cherry tomatoes, tomatillos, and ground cherries. And for the cherry tomato varieties, we are gonna do yellow pear, sun gold, and super sweet 100. Up here is going to be my squash and baby pumpkin row. This was the same as last year. And then we are going to do some green and yellow zucchini in the middle. I do not have anything for these 2 rows here. Like last year, we are going to do a hot pepper row and a sweet pepper row in the exact same place. And then down here, again, I want these 3 rows to just be like easy, or not this one, I'm sorry, these 2 rows right here to be easy access stuff. So this is going to be all of our radishes, lettuce, kale, spinach, and chard. And each one of these rows is 3 by 16. And I did 3 by 16 because it's easy to reach on both sides of the row at 3 feet as opposed to 4 feet. And then moving over here, I do not have anything for these 2 rows. We have beans. So we're gonna do green beans, kidney, navy, black beans, and then 1 whole row of onions, which will be the Patterson and red carpet. And then 2 rows of potatoes. I plan to do Yukon, red Pontiac, and Kennebec, and the goal is 150 pounds. And this is where I would like your guys' opinion on things. So I still have these 4 rows, and this one up here is trellised. So I'm trying to think if I want to do more squash up here or like more melons, because my daughter really likes those. So we could use the back half of this for that. But then we also need a cabbage, broccoli, and cauliflower row. So I'm thinking of doing cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower in these 2 rows, but then that frees up these 2 rows up here. So if you guys look at this and you see something that you would do differently, I would love to know what your guys' opinions is on this. Last year, you guys helped me tremendously with how you would formulate my other ideas. So if you have any suggestions for this year on how you would do these last 4 rows, or if you would move anything around, I would definitely appreciate the feedback. I was gonna do the tomato, peppers, and all of those varieties in this video too, but it might be getting a little bit too long. So if you guys want a video of like all of the varieties of different things that I am doing, let me know and I will put that into a separate video for you. But now we're gonna go get some seed starting equipment together so that we can work on our onions, our rosemary, and our thyme. So I did go ahead and mix up a bunch of seed starting mix down here, and I just kept the tub up here because we were gonna use it anyway. This was out in my garage, so you need to let the soil warm up for a couple days probably until before you go to use it. So all this is just Miracle-Gro potting mix. I put some worm castings and perlite in there, so that is all good to go. And then we also need to go downstairs and get some seed starting equipment, and I'll show you all of the grow lights because I got all of that stuff set up too. And it's not like the most perfect setup right now. Sorry, I'm trying not to fall on my face walking down my stairs. But it is gonna do just fine for us for the moment. So I got all of this set up the other day. Don't mind my basement. We are still in the process of unpacking and putting things where it needs to go. But let me show you. Ta-da! Okay, I got 2 of these shelves set up. This is all of my grow lights from last year, and they were already just like assembled and hooked up, so I didn't have to do anything over here. These are 2 new additional grow lights that I'm going to put on this shelf here. So we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves to get started with. I also plan to get 2 more up here as well. And then I went ahead and pulled out all of my seed starting stuff. So that is over here. Like I said, this setup is not permanent. Eventually my seed starting setup will be in the garage, which will be closer to the garden. But for right now, I'm just super excited that all of this stuff is set up and ready to go for us. And then my babies are over here in this room along with Sparkles. That's her pop-up. There's the babies pop-up, and they are going crazy because I'm down here and they want out. The lighting down here is not the best, you guys. I do apologize, but look at all the babies. Say hi. Say hello, everybody. Look at how big they are getting. Hi. Hi there, pretty boy. Don't you try to escape. Hi. I wanted to show you guys this big barred rock rooster down here. I have named him Ham, and he is freaking massive, you guys. Look at them all. Say hi. I see you knocked over your food already. I got to get you some new stuff. And then Sparkles is just over here babysitting. Hi, what you doing? I got to come down here later today and clean out all of their pop-ups. Say hi, Sparkles. I can't remember if Rosemary needs a heat mat or not, but I grabbed one just in case, and some extra seed starting trays, so let's get them filled up. Okay, so then like I said, I just have some seed starting mix here, and I'm gonna start my onions the same way that I started them last year. Last year, I waited until probably, I think it was like February 5th or 6th, and mine, so I bought starts, and then I started them from seed myself, and the ones that I started from seed, I think would have gotten bigger had I started them earlier. So we are in the beginning of January now, so I'm gonna start them a whole month earlier and see if that doesn't help them bulb up just a little bit better. So I am just using the bottom of a seed tray and filling this up. Like I said, this is the way that I did it last year and it worked really, really well for me. So I'm just gonna start putting this on top. Typically you would want to wet down all of your seed starting mix, but there's no way I can wet down this entire container until we're doing like a big day of seed starting. So I'm just taking this little waterer here and getting all of this wet down. And then we will just go ahead and add some more on top. And what I like to do, you guys, is just get a big tub like this. And this is basically my seed starting mix for the entire seed starting season. If you just get a big tub and fill it up, then all of your stuff is ready to go. And this will last me for all of our seeds. You do want to make sure that there's no like chunks and stuff throughout this as well, just so that the seeds can come up adequately. But I'm just wetting all of this down again. And that is good for this one. And then I'm just gonna do the same thing for the rosemary and thyme. All right, guys, let's get our hands dirty, shall we? So usually I would put tape on the sides of this and label them, but since I'm only doing 2 onion varieties this year, it's gonna be really, really easy. So I'm just gonna draw a little like indentation, I guess you could say, in the soil. I'm gonna spread all of this out, make sure it's even. And we don't really have to label them because the red will come up as red onions and then the white will come up as white, and I will know exactly what one is what. So let me see here. Where does it say? So February, mid-March, 1/4 of an inch deep. So these are our red carpet. And the only downside of Johnny Seeds is it doesn't have like pictures or like really, really good instructions. Like you really have to read it, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I do like their seed quality. So I guess I will not complain about the packaging too much. So all I'm gonna do is, now that I have this little indentation here, just make that a little bit more prominent. And then I did go ahead and grab some extra soil so that we can sprinkle this on top. I am just gonna take these seeds and start layering them in. I'm not going to push them down or anything because we are going to cover the soil with that extra seed starting mix that I picked up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and plant these all throughout here. And I don't really care how many come up. Like if I plant too many, we can put extras that don't fit in the row in with like other vegetables and things. I guess I just kind of feel like you can't really ever have too many onions. Honestly, like we go through onions like crazy. So the more, the merrier. So there is just like a really good handful of the red. We still have plenty in here. So then all I'm gonna do is this really, really, really fine soil that does not have clumps in it. I'm gonna take and I'm just going to spread that over top of all of this and make sure that the seeds are covered. Again, we're only covering them about 1/4 of an inch deep, so make sure you don't pack it on too heavy. I know some people really knock Miracle-Gro, and I do understand why they do that. I just feel like Miracle-Gro is a lot more like affordable. Some of the seed starting mixes I feel like are very expensive. Some companies are just, it's not that I don't think the quality isn't worth it. It's just for the average person, I think that it's very expensive. So that's why I use Miracle-Gro. That's what I've always used, even whenever I, couldn't afford the higher end stuff. So if you are on a budget and looking to save like some money, you can get a whole bag of Miracle-Gro for like $9 and you have enough seed starting mix for the entire season. So that's why I use it. That's why I would tell you to use it if you're on a budget. But there are some people that don't agree with it, and I totally understand that too. To each their own. You can use whatever seed starting mix you would like, or, whatever works for you best. But then basically after all of those seeds are covered, I'm just going back and giving them a good little drink. And then we are going to do the exact same thing with the Patterson seeds. And see, this is why I like things in those containers, because I just wetted that down and I just got the seed packet wet. Hopefully that doesn't go through too bad. And I don't worry about spacing or anything whenever we start these, you guys, because as these get bigger and before we go to plant them in the actual rows, we will break all of these up and plant them individually and space them out then. But in the meantime, I just chuck them in there and they can take off and be bunched up however much they want. but we will eventually separate all of them. All right, and then both of those onion varieties are done, so I'm just gonna set those over there. Onions do not need a heat mat at all. And then we can get started on our thyme and rosemary. So these are surface sow. And it says start 8 to 10 weeks before last frost. Again, this is something that I'm just gonna go ahead and start now because last time they did not come up very well. I cannot remember if thyme needs a grow light or a heat mat. Some things do need to be placed under a grow light to come up. I cannot remember if thyme is one of them. If it is, I will just go ahead and kick on a grow light and get these placed under it. But see how itty bitty these are? We are just going to place all of those on the top. And I do start quite a lot of them because for some reason, I don't have very good success with thyme. So I start more as opposed to less. So here is that one. And then for the rosemary, 1/4 of an inch deep. And these can take a really long time to germinate, up to, I think it's like 20 days, along with celery. These are just really long ones to germinate. So again, I am going to go ahead and start several because I plan to do a big planter pot out in my garden full of rosemary. And like I said, basically with anything, it doesn't matter how you start them, like we can separate them later. So I didn't have very many seeds in that packet to begin with, so I just went ahead and put them right on top. We're going to get a little bit more dirt on top of this and then water this in. Give them a nice little drink. And then all of this is done. I will get some labels placed in for the rosemary and thyme, get everything where it needs to go on heat mats, under grow lights, etc., etc. But that is going to wrap it up for today, friends. This makes me so incredibly excited. I am beyond thrilled to see what Garden 2026 has in store for all of us. And it's just going to be so fun. I love the gardening season. That is my jam. I love being outside, doing all of those things with you guys. So I am so looking forward to the warmer weather and getting out there, getting our hands dirty, learning together, spending time together, etc., etc. So I have had a lot of fun for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Like I said, if you want a full video of what varieties I am planting, please let me know down below. I am happy to make that video for you guys. If you haven't caught on yet, I am a chatty Cathy when it comes to anything gardening, varieties. I love to geek out about that stuff. So let me know if you are interested in seeing that. But for the time being, I will catch you guys in next week's video. I hope you have a fantastic week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you then. Bye, friends.